to watch him play because of his he's barely getting any reps and all the rest of that. I want you to hear from the owner of the Cleveland Browns yesterday, Jimmy Haslam. He was asked about the process of drafting Shedeur Sanders, and this is what he said.
If you'd have told me, let's see, we picked him on Saturday, right? Friday night driving home, y'all are going to pick Shedeur, I would say that's not happening. But we had a conversation early that morning, and then we had a conversation later that day. I think we had the right people involved in the conversation. At the end of the day, that's Andrew Berry's call. Andrew made the call to pick Shedeur. Just like who's going to start or what play we're going to call is Kevin's call. But that's Andrew's call. He made the call.
Okay, so my microphone obviously went out, so I'm holding this here. Kmart, why did that give you some pause?
Wow. All right. What I'm watching in Cleveland, I look at them and I think, could we be looking at a team that may actually have their best quarterback ride the bench most of the season? And when I look at Jimmy Haslam, putting it all on Andrew Berry, I think back to all the time I spent in Cleveland the minute they traded for Deshaun Watson, where the Cleveland Browns were out of it, until Jimmy Haslam was like, go get me that guy. And that's what Andrew did. Unprecedented deal, unprecedented guarantees. Do you think Deshaun Watson was the pick for everybody in the organization? Somebody said, that is who I want. When you have quarterbacks, it needs to be, they try to make it seem with Deshaun like we are all on board. This is our guy. Right now, why is it with Shedeur? I understand he's a fifth-round pick, but why are we not saying every quarterback that we have on this field, we want to see, we believe in all of them, we want to see it. I just wonder with this organization, they've been looking for an answer, and they have not found one, and I just hate that now we're putting it on Andrew. What is that about? What is that about?
Okay, all right, look, first of all, the talent was better than a fifth round, okay? So anybody who says otherwise, look, you just don't really watch football. Right? The talent was better in the fifth round. And we know there were other circumstances as to why he slid to the fifth round. This is the thing for me. He says, when I left on Friday night, if someone would have said to me, you guys are going to pick Shedeur Sanders, he would have said, that's not happening. And you saw in his face, he's like, I don't think that's going to happen. And then all of a sudden, he says, we met about it again on Saturday, and we had who are the right people in the room? What does that mean? Who are the right people? You mean that? I see. There's a lot of ambiguity right there, which leads me to believe this: they ain't all on the same page with this pick. And when you're not all on the same page with this pick, I've been in enough personnel meetings to know this: personal biases come into things when you go through the roster and you evaluate every single guy, and everyone has a chance to talk about that guy. Everyone's not going to be pulling in the same direction when it comes to this player because they weren't as of Friday of the draft. He just said it. I just told you, I would have said that's not happening.
The fact that there's another quarterback already there tells you that they weren't all.
So look, everyone knows. Look, I hope the young man gets his opportunity to get on the field one way or another. I'm afraid he's going to get on the field in preseason games without a lot of practice reps. And then they're going to ask him to perform these heroic tasks in order to prove that he's worthy of being a starter when he hasn't had enough reps to really get comfortable. That's the kind of battle he's dealing with right now. I know. I've seen it. Dom, you've seen it. We've been in these camps. We know how that goes. Yeah. You don't get enough reps. They play a whole half of a game, and then all of a sudden coaches are going, why are you making that mistake? Why aren't you making that check? Why are you doing that technique? Well, damn, coach, I never was in there in practice. You never even talked to me during practice. But now you expect me to know. That's what they're going to expect of him. But if anyone can get it done, it's this kid because he's been trained the right way. But I'm telling you, he is ice skating uphill. He just is. And every time you hear this organization talk, you get that feel.
Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, I mean, that's the life of a guy who's drafted late in the draft. And I know he's a unique case, but, like, that's how it is for most of the guys in the NFL. You're not going to get a fair opportunity. You have to make the best of it. You have to put in the work. You have to find ways to get mental reps or whatever you have to do to prove that you deserve more reps. It's going to be hard. It's going to be unfair. I, as you know, Greeny, I'm on this show a lot, super critical of, like, the way that leaders